Chicago Bears still have some games left in the 2022 NFL season, but most Bears fans, and I don't blame them, have kind of already turned the page over to next season in 2023. So I thought, why not talk about that as well and talk about the biggest position of need for the Chicago Bears heading into 2023. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Hall back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears and here to talk about their biggest position of need for next season. So if you're a Bears fan, and it's been rough this season, but the future is bright, hit the big red subscribe button, stay tuned and locked to the channel. Make sure you're following me on all my social media platforms and make sure to hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Let's get into it. All right, so let's start with this. There are a lot of positions of need for the Chicago Bears. All right, a lot of them. But let's talk about where we don't need upgrades or we are good in that position heading into next season. There's not a lot, but there are still some. And we start with the quarterback, right? Justin Fields has had a great season and certainly has earned the right to be the Bears starting quarterback moving forward. He has proven to be worthy of being called a franchise quarterback. Now, there is still, I believe, Bears fans that don't believe he might be the long-term answer for the next 5 to 10 years. That's not the question here. The question is, at least for next season, Justin Fields, absolutely, in my eyes, he's earned it already. And he's special and he's the franchise quarterback. But I'm just letting you guys know there's still skeptics out there. But the quarterback position is not something we need to worry about next season. Justin Fields still on his rookie deal. We don't even have to worry about anything contractually. He is going to be the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears next year, barring some unforeseen circumstances, okay? So that position is good. We don't need to get a quarterback or draft a quarterback. Then we talk about running back. Running back is kind of a little bit of a limbo, but we like the guys we have. Monty, the question is not if he's good, it's whether or not he's worth another contract, right? Should we extend him? And what's the price? What's it going to cost you? You don't really pay running backs in this league because it's a position that doesn't last very long. And oh, he's got a very good backup behind him in Khalil Herbert. So maybe you paved the way for him, and we drafted another guy, Tristan Ebner. So you've got depth at that position. So that's another position where I think like, hey, look, we're pretty good. I don't think we need to do much. And the Bears' rushing attack this year was very special, so it's also a productive position as well. Then we get to a couple other spots. Tight end. I think Cole Kmet's proved that he is worthy of, you know, potentially being extended, has had a career in terms of touchdowns for sure. And he's solid. I'm not going to say he's elite, but he's solid. All right. So those are some of the positions that I feel like we've got solved. Then there's a bunch of positions that certainly need upgrades, right? We talk about the offensive line, the defensive line, the receiver spot. I know we traded for Chase Claypool, but still there's a need for another receiver there. We could use the linebacker spot, the secondary, potentially. Like, there are still gaping holes here. So out of all of those positional groups, which position is the most important, the biggest need for the Bears going into 2023? And my answer is undoubtedly the offensive line. I know the defensive line has been terrible. I know we've traded away pretty much our entire starting defense, or it's been hurt. I know the Bears defense is putrid, but folks, I'm telling you, the reason I am picking the offensive line over the defensive line is because of the quarterback. If we're able to keep Justin Fields upright for the next 5 to 10 years, he will do special things. But I don't care how good our defensive line is. If we don't keep Justin Fields healthy, it will not matter. That is why the offensive line is the most important. Now, let's dive a little deeper into the offensive line here, all right? So, when we take a look through the O-line, you absolutely need a new center. Sam Usfer is not good. He's awful. I cannot wait for Sam Usfer to no longer be on this team. We signed Lucas Patrick this past offseason thinking he would be the answer, and he wasn't. Just too injury prone. And even if you bring him back, you cannot count on this man to be your starting center for the next year for 17 full games and depend on him to be healthy. So you need a center. Absolutely, you need a center. That's a crucial, crucial position. Now, whether or not they get it through the draft or free agency, not what I'm worried about, but you need one. Then we take a look at the right side of the offensive line, the right tackle spot, whether it's Larry Borum, Riley Reef, not really convinced either way. The right guard spot, Tevin Jenkins, certainly got the potential he showed. And, you know, I like him. I think Tevin certainly has a bright future in this league, but he hasn't proved that he is, you know, legitimately a great offensive lineman. I think he's got the upside, but still saying he's not like, oh yeah, we've got an all-pro at that right guard spot. The left side of the offensive line, you've got Cody Whitehair, who's getting a little older, still solid, but he's getting a little older. And then probably our best offensive lineman, and the left tackle, Braxton Jones. He's been great for a rookie, but do you really want to trust that, you know, for the next season or couple? And so the offensive line has got to be the top priority for Ryan Poles. Being a former offensive lineman, by the way. So center's a must. We know that. Potential right tackle is probably a position to upgrade as well. So center and right tackle, certainly. And then you can think about left tackle, right guard, and left guard as well. But that is the most important position by far. Justin Fields gets sacked way too often. Whether or not that's his fault or the offensive line, we can talk about that separately. But he gets sacked way too often. You need to keep him upright. We don't want another Andrew Luck story. This kid doesn't have the protection he needs. If the offensive line is average to above average, then you will see even more special things from Justin Fields. Because think about it, he's doing this with a pretty porous offensive line. Think about it if he had Jalen Hurts' offensive line. Just saying. Justin Fields has all the talent in the world similar to Jalen Hurts, but what does Jalen Hurts have? He has the best offensive line in football with the Philadelphia Eagles. So imagine what you could do with Justin Fields. So imagine Justin Fields with an elite offensive line. So to me, no doubt my answer is O-line would be number 1. If you ask me to rank it, I'd probably go O-line 1, D-line number 2. 3 is kind of tricky because I could go defense again, but I'm going to say receiver. Look, Chase Claypool's great, and Mooney's going to come back next year, but you need one more guy in there. I think they're missing one more guy. Then I'd probably go linebacker. Then I'd probably go quarterback. So that's really how I would rank it. But number 1 position of need for the Bears going into next season is offensive line. Do you guys agree, disagree? Leave a comment down below as always.